So today I am going to be walking you through some poses that will be really good if you're having some tension in your upper back. If you are like me, you might use your phone a lot, might hunch your shoulders, might type on your computer a lot at work, or even just driving. We tend to dome our shoulders quite a bit, or just even hold our stress in our upper back and our shoulders. So I'm just gonna walk you through a series of poses that you might do when you don't have time for a full yoga flow. And you can do some of these, if you're out in public or at work, or just have a couple of minutes at home to just really stretch your upper back. Some of these are really good if you just woke up, or just right before going to bed. But yep, they're good at all times. So yeah, let's get started. So the first pose we're gonna start with is forward fold. So it's a pretty basic pose. Really good for just releasing your back. You can sway from side to side. You can hold opposite elbows together. Or interlock fingers and put them behind your the back of your the base of your head. In forward folds, you never need to lock out your knees like that, or even be super straight. You can just have a gentle bend. Something I really love doing is interlocking fingers behind my back and just lifting my arms up and letting gravity do its thing. It's a real nice way to open up your chest, stretch those shoulders. I think we're seeing some kitty friends. This feels really good. Can feel a little intense, and you safely release from this pose by bringing your hands back to your lower back and releasing. Another way you can also do this is you can step on your palms face up for a little bit of a wrist stretch, but just another way to intensify that upper back stretch. Relax your head. Shake out your head. No. Yes. And when you're ready, release your hands. I got a friend here. Another really good pose that's great out at work, and I'm sure you don't want to sit down on the ground at work or out in public, so this is just a quick way to do pretty much what cat-cow does, but standing up Also, if you have any sort of like knee issues or just anything, this is a good way to substitute that. So we'll start with cactus arms. Shine your heart up. Exhale, you dome. And push your hands out. Inhale, cactus arms. Gaze up. Exhale, you dome. Inhale, cactus arms. Exhale, you dome. Now do these a couple more times. I can always tell how stiff I'm feeling by doing these because my back gets all crackly the first couple of times. It's all interconnected. If you're feeling tight up here, it's not up like on your upper back, just like if it's your hips, whatever part of your body is feeling stiff, that means that there are other issues happening in your body, right? Other things that need to loosen up. So something that's really helpful is just stretching out your neck a little bit. So you can start on whatever side. I'm starting with my left arm straight out, my thumb out, open. And then I gently grab the side of my left head, face, with my right hand and gently just bring it down. You should feel the stretch all on your left side of your neck. You don't need to go super hard on this, just a gentle stretch. Just releasing some of that stress. We hold a lot. We are having some posture issues too. Our neck may be doing a lot more work than it should be doing. Release. Right arm straight out. And just switch sides. Gently grab the right side of your face and push toward your left shoulder. You want to keep your shoulders back, chest open. And just sit here. Let's do that again, just for good measure, because it feels really good. Yep. And switch sides. Remember, keep breathing. This is also just a nice little break to take when you're at work or just needing like a 5-minute, 10-minute breather. Release. Then just move your head. Circles in one direction. And then the other direction. That should help a little bit. So those are 3 different poses that you could just kind of do on repeat if you just have a few minutes at work or at home to stretch out your upper back. We're gonna do some seated ones too. So we'll do a, let's start with a downward dog. We do this, you know what, I'm gonna put this shirt on real quick. so we don't have any bloopers. Cool. Okay, so we do downward dog in pretty much almost all practices. And I know I've heard in a lot of, in some spaces, say that downward dog is a resting pose, but that's not at all the case. It's a really active pose. You're using everything, your back, your legs, your arms, and it is a really great pose to really stretch out like your hammies and your legs, but also like to stretch out your back, like you have to be actively engaged. So let's start with our hands. We want our fingers to be actively engaged. We want our fingers spread wide, and we want to evenly distribute our weight, but also make sure we're not causing damage to the wrists. So if there are some issues with that, please beware. I think that if there are just some like any wrist injuries or issues, you should just go to tabletop. I think that, or maybe like dolphin, but that also means that there has to be like some good shoulder strength happening there. But assuming that your wrists are okay, just engage your fingers, spread wide. We're gonna lift up. And the goal here is to have a straight line from our head all the way up through our hips. Imagine just one line of energy going up. So it's not about keeping the legs straight. So if you need to fold them, that's fine. If your belly needs to rest on your thighs, that's okay. Little by little, you'll learn how to like stretch that out. Or even when you notice in your first, at the beginning of any yoga flow that you're going through, you may be a little stiff, and at the end you might be able to stretch out a little further. But you really want to activate your arms. You want to release your head, your neck, no lifting. And you want to keep that straight back. And like always, don't forget to breathe. Make sure your hips are high so you can put your belly on your thighs for a little bit. Make sure your hips are high. And then you can try to bring your feet down while not moving your back or your hips. Imagine you are trying to bring your chest to your thighs. So doing downward dog is, you can just be in that pose for as many breaths as you need. That's just a really good way to like activate your whole body and to really focus on like your back strength. It's a little hard to talk and do this, so thanks for bearing with me. I am constantly in awe by people who do this. Alrighty. Next one is supine twist, which I have walked through this one when I talked about my bedtime practice. So because we are focusing on the upper back today, we don't have to go super deep with the hip stuff, but if you prefer it, then yeah, go for it. We are gonna start with our right leg over our left, and if you want, you can keep your left leg straight, or you can bend it and have your right heel come to your right hammy. Whatever works for you. You want to put your right hand behind you, shoulder straight, and then you lift your left arm high and you twist. You can tent up your right hand, your right fingers, and make sure to keep your back straight. You will also feel this really anywhere from your neck to your left shoulder, all the way down to your hip. And you have a lot of control here. You can choose how deep you want to go. You could, and you can do that with your elbow. So you can go really deep by hooking it further, twisting further, looking back if that's comfortable. Or maybe you just want to put your left elbow on top of your right knee. Just do more of a gentle twist. And again, if you don't want to go deep on the hips, this is fine too. Ooh. Alrighty, let's switch sides. I think I'm gonna do the two legs bending just to even it out. So same, we want to put our left hand behind us, or you can tent. I usually just put my flat, like fully flat on the ground first, and then I raise my right arm and twist. Only then do I tent. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale lifts you up a bit, and your exhale helps with the twist. I'm also gonna do it with the right leg straight. To even it out. So even just with those few poses right now, I'm already starting to just feel how much looser this part of my body is. I wonder if you are too. I hope so. Now let's meet in a tabletop to do some cat-cows. So cat-cows are really beneficial. They help add fluidity to your spine. You inhale, cow. You exhale, cat. But also, this is a really great pose if you have any sort of sciatica issues. I know when I've injured myself on this, this is a pose I go to every day if I'm nursing a sort of like sciatica related thing. You inhale, cow. Imagine shoulders back, facing straight ahead, chest coming forward, booty back. Exhale, you dome your back like a cat. You have any knee issues, you could put a towel underneath your knees, or you could just do the standing ones that we talked about or that we did earlier. I like doing both. Just do a couple more. And when you're ready, we can come back to tabletop to talk about another pose that's really beneficial for, well, so many parts of your body, but right now we're talking about upper back. Let's see, now what you can see me. So this one's called threading the needle. So we'll meet at tabletop, and I'll start with my left arm. That way I can look at the camera and talk. So you inhale your left arm up. You want to keep your right arm fully engaged. I mean, you always want to engage. Shoulder back. Left shoulder also back. Imagine, or not imagine, do it like there's a line between both arms. A straight line. And you're opening up your shoulders here, your chest. And you exhale, thread the needle. This is one way you can do it. You can leave your left arm hovering if you're having any sort of like shoulder issue or even knees, because we're about to go into the other way of doing this and you just may not want to be there. But this is already really good for your upper back. Just that expansion. All right, so you inhale up, you exhale, thread the needle, you put your arm down on the ground and gently put your left ear on the ground. And maybe this is where you stay, or maybe you want to extend your right arm up, or another option, you can put your right arm behind your back. Imagine you are trying to put your right hand in your left front pocket. Just hanging out. This is my favorite. I really feel this stretch and just my right upper back. Feels really good. I'm doing some shoulder opening. And now you can either leave your toes untucked like I am, but also if you want to evenly distribute the weight a little better, maybe tucking your toes is what works for you. Now, getting out of this, you bring your right hand back by your face, and we come out the way we came in. Up. Exhale, thread the needle. Another thing you could do for this one is just be fluid. Instead of just going right down to the ground, you could just inhale up, exhale, thread the needle, and do it a few times in just a really fluid way. With your breath, you could go fast, you could go slow, just fluid like a dancer. Alrighty, when you're ready, come back to your tabletop and let's do the other side. So same, inhale, right arm up, arms fully engaged. Imagine you're reaching for the sun, but also you're firmly rooted, shoulders back. Nothing like this, just back. Gaze up, exhale, thread the needle. You can hover here, or inhale, thread the needle, or inhale, right arm up, and then exhale, thread the needle. Set your arm down and gently put your right ear on the ground. Same options here, left arm high, or, forward, or try to put your left foot in your right front pocket. Nothing should be painful here. So again, if you need to assess, is your shoulder feeling a little too heavy? Then maybe you hover. Or is it your knees? Maybe you tuck your toes to evenly distribute. Also, this tucking the toes could also give you control of how deep you're going, and if you're feeling any sort of hip tightness, that could also help you. We'll come back the same way we came in. So left hand comes back by my face and gently lift up. And we'll do the fluid here. Again, this is also an option. And it looks pretty. If you're into making pretty shapes. Alrighty. So far my upper back's feeling great. We've actually got 2 more poses. Alrighty. So we are going to do Sphinx pose and try to see what will be the best way for you to see it. Yeah, maybe this way. No. Let's do this. So we're just gonna be on the ground. Belly's down on the ground. You can't see my toes. Maybe I'll do this. Yeah, okay, you can't see my toes, but they are untucked, just facing down. I am engaging my glutes a little bit. My knees are lifted off the ground, and yeah, everything's pretty engaged. Now, Sphinx pose, you make sure your shoulder and elbows are aligned on both sides, and your forearms are parallel to one another. And you just spread your fingers wide. So it depends if you're doing this in yin or like vinyasa, how you engage, but I am just going to tell you that in this one I'm engaging everything. I am, like I said, engaging my legs, that way my knees are off the ground. So if you even have knee issues, this is something you can still do. In yin, you actually don't engage your arms or your legs, so the knees can be on the ground, whatever works for you. And then imagine that you are trying to drag your body with your arms. So you're trying to bring your chest out through your arms. This is a heart opener and also good for your back. And just look forward. Make sure to breathe. A sign of having a hard time doing Sphinx is, or like having like upper back issues, can really make you struggle doing this one. Which could also be a signal to try to do this one a little bit more often, to open up your chest. Breathe. Forehead down. And now we're gonna tent out or bring out our hands a little further, and we're gonna tent up our fingers like there's a little cupcake underneath. I actually got that from my favorite instructor. Our elbows are pointed up, and we're gonna bring ourselves up. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna do some stretches. We're gonna dip our right shoulder to the ground, look to the left, come up, and do the same. up. Inhale up. Exhale. All right, let's do that one more time. I love this one. Great. And the last pose I want to suggest that's really good for, oh my God, it's so good for your chest. It'll open you right up. It's really good for your upper back. I will have to say that this pose for me was really challenging at first. It really, let me take a breath. It really triggered my fight or flight, really fight mode. I wanted to get away from it as fast as I could. And for me, those kind of poses end up becoming my favorite, which it is now. So I took my time, remembered to always breathe, didn't go past the threshold of it, you know, just kind of worked my way up to it. And now it's my favorite pose. If there is a time when I don't have the opportunity to do a practice or even do a lot of poses to stretch something out, but I know I just need to pick me up, I'll go to this one if I'm home, because I'm not just going to do that in the office, right? But yeah, I love this one. So let's do it. It's called puppy pose. Puppy pose. And if you haven't seen it before, you'll see why it's called that. So let's start with tabletop. Now, here you can tuck your toes if you want, or you can leave them untucked. It's up to you. Same concept. If you're tucking your toes, it's usually because you're trying to have a little bit more control. And if you're just wanting to release and see where it goes, that's fine too. Just untuck your toes. It's just what dealer's choice. Now we're going to extend our arms a little further out. Keep them straight. Don't lock them out. Also, a little double jointed in the arms. So if it looks like I'm locking out, I'm actually not. That's just my arms. And then what we're gonna do is try to bring our chest down to the mat. It doesn't mean you have to get there today or ever if you don't want to, or your body just, that's not what it's gonna do. But pretend that that's what you're trying to do. So extend your arms, look forward, keep your head down straight, keep your hips over your knees, and again, tuck or untucked, and yeah, just do this, extend forward. For some of you, this may look like this, and that's great. Like, that's maybe exactly where you need to be. You are gonna feel the same thing if you're doing this or this, right? It's just everybody's very different. Make sure to keep breathing, and slowly but surely you may come a little lower. You can push your I'm gonna break myself up. You can push your fingers forward just to give you a little bit more room if you are someone that is coming down lower to the ground, because you know you will need that space. So I'm gonna demonstrate what it looks like just going all the way down. So you come down, chest on the mat, chin on the mat, and arms forward, and you do not want to move your neck. Just look forward. You will definitely feel it as it's opening up your chest, your upper back, your arms, upper arms for sure.
And this may be really intense. Just breathe. It's temporary. If there's a little discomfort with your knees, you could lift your legs up, trying to bring your ankles, your heels toward your booty. And just hang out here. When you're ready to come back, I like to bring my hands forward or back toward my shoulders, by my shoulders, and I simply lift up. Oh, hello, into the tabletop. So again, that is a really emotional pose that might bring up a lot in you. So definitely, if you haven't done it before, just try it little by little and see what feels right, what your body's communicating with you. I'm a little out of breath, I know. Didn't get super wild, but it's hard to talk and do some of these poses and breathe. I hope that these have been helpful, and I am going to put together a sequence that includes some of these poses so we can really get into a full body stretch and really focus not just on the upper back, but yeah, just the whole of our body and our back. Yeah, thanks for watching.